Good morning, students. In the last class, we have seen about the various number system conversions, like from binary to decimal, octal, hexadecimal, and fractional binary to decimal, like decimal to binary, octal, and hexadecimal, and also fractional decimal to binary, and octal to binary and decimal, and hexadecimal to binary and decimal. Like this, we have seen all the number system conversions in the last video. So in this video, we are going to start the next topic, that is binary representation for signed numbers. So computer can handle both the positive and negative numbers. We call the positive number as unsigned number and negative number as a signed number. So there are three ways to represent the numbers in the computer. So signed magnitude, ones complement and twos complement. So these are the three ways to represent the numbers in the computer. Among these three, the sign magnitude is the simplest method to represent the negative binary numbers. Negative binary numbers. So we have seen the positive binary numbers, whereas here this is the sign magnitude method is used to represent the negative binary number. How they identify the negative number? With the help of the most significant bit, that is the leftmost bit. They call it as a sign bit or parity bit. By identifying the leftmost bit, they will tell whether it is a positive number or negative number. They can identify the whether it is a positive number or negative number. Let us see the example, plus 24. So totally there are 8 digits are there, and the last 7 digit is called the value digit, that is the magnitude digit. And this is the most significant bit, that is the leftmost bit, which we call as a sign bit. If it is a 0 means the value is positive. Here you see minus 24. For minus 24, they have converted this binary into minus 24, and the last 7 digits we call it as a value or magnitude digit, and the leftmost bit is 1. If it is 1 means the number is negative. In ones complement, twos complement, we will be seeing how to convert the positive binary to negative. How we arrive this negative binary digit. So now let us see the steps to be followed for ones complement and twos complement. First, we will see the ones complement procedure. So these ones complement and twos complement is mainly for negative numbers, that is signed numbers, not for the unsigned numbers, that is positive numbers. It is mainly used for signed numbers. It is mainly only used for negative numbers. Okay, that you should keep in mind. For positive numbers, we can't able to find the ones complement and twos complement. Only for negative numbers, we can able to find ones complement and twos complement. So let us see the steps. Convert the given decimal to binary. So here minus 24 is the given decimal number. I have converted into binary using the normal division method. So this is the binary form, that is 11100. Check whether it contains 8 digits. If not, add 0 to the leftmost bit, that is leftmost bit. So this is 8-bit form. We need 3 zeros to make it as a 8 digit. This is the 8-bit form. And the last step is invert all the bits. That is 0 as 1, 1 as 0. This is the ones complement. You have to replace the 0 as 1 and 1 as 0. So this is the ones complement for the minus 24. So next we have to find the twos complement. So let us see what are the steps to be followed for finding the twos complement. Twos complement procedure. The twos complement procedure is same as the ones complement, and only one last step is added, that is add 1 to the least significant bit, that is the rightmost bit. You have to add 1. So here till now we have completed ones complement. You just add 1 to the, this is the least significant bit, that is the rightmost bit. So in binary, normally in general, 1 plus 1 is 2. That is a decimal calculation. Whereas in binary, you have to keep in mind these numbers. 0 plus 1, 1. 1 plus 1, 10. It is for 2, the binary equivalent is 10. 10 plus 1, 11. So this is how you have to keep in mind. These are the 4 numbers which you have to keep in mind while binary addition and subtraction, which you will see in the next topic. So 0 plus 1, it is 1. 1 plus 1, in general it is 2. Whereas for the binary equivalent for 2 is 10. And 10 plus 1 is 11. Okay. So here 10 means 0 I will be putting and 1 as a carry. And again 1 plus 1, 10. Again 1 carry. Here 1 plus 0, it is 1. And again remaining all same. So this is the 2's complement. You can see we told that if it is a minus means the first value, totally 8 digits are there, the first digit, that is the most significant bit, will be 1 for negative. So this is how we have to find the 1's complement and 2's complement. Next we will see the binary addition and subtraction. First let us see about the binary addition. So similar to decimal numbers, all the binary numbers can also be manipulated with the addition, subtraction, multiplication and division and all. So we will be learning about both binary addition and subtraction. So first binary addition. So we will be seeing 2 types of examples. Directly given the binary numbers, we are going to add, and by giving the decimal numbers, we have to convert the decimal number to binary and then we have to add. So these are 2 types of examples. First let us see. Before going to the example, you have to keep in mind these 4 numbers. 0 plus 1, that is 1. 1 plus 1, 10. 1 plus 10 plus 1, that is 11. So these are the 4 numbers which you have to keep in mind. So we told that 1 plus 1 in general it is 2, whereas while converting into the binary, for 2 the binary equivalent is 10. So that's why. For, and again 2 plus 1 is 3, for 3 the binary equivalent is 11. So that's why we have the maximum these 4 numbers will get repeated. Okay. First let us see 1 plus 0, that is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2 normally. While converting to binary, it is 10. Because 1 plus 1 is 10. I put 0 and 1 carry. Again 1 plus 0, 1. And last 1 plus 1 is 10. So we have to write the answer as, we have to take the answer and write it to the 8-bit form. Already we have got 5 digits. Like that you have to write the answer in a 8-bit form. So now let us see the decimal number and we have to convert the decimal number to binary and then we have to add. So I have told the shortcut for converting the decimal to binary. For making 23, which are all the number is needed? 16, 4, 20, 22 and 23. This is 0. So, and for 12, we just need 8 and 4. Now we have to add. 1 plus 0 is 1, again 1. Here 1 plus 1 is 10. Again 1 plus 1 is 10. Again 1 plus 1 is 10. So you have to, already we have got 6 digits. In normal max decimal addition, this is 35. Okay, you can cross check whether the found answer is correct or not. So similarly, you just apply these 2 powers. in which all the place we got 1 means we have to add those numbers. 32 plus 2, 34, and 34 plus 1 is 35. So the found answer is correct. So this is how we have to cross check the binary addition. So next we will see the binary subtraction. For binary subtraction also you will see two types of examples. One is the direct binary subtraction and another one is the decimal to binary converted subtraction. So first here also we have to keep in mind these four numbers. Now it is reverse. 11 minus 1, that is 10. 10 minus 1, it is 1. In general mathematics you should not convert that. 10 minus 1 is 9. 10 minus in binary, 10 minus 1 is 1 and 1 minus 1 is 0. So for addition you have to come from top to bottom, whereas from subtraction you have to keep in mind from bottom to top. 0 minus 0, it is 0. 1 minus 0, it is 1. And here 0 minus 1. So in 0 we cannot able to subtract 1. So we have to borrow. By cancelling it, the previous number of 1 is 0. So I am putting 0 and carry forward 1. So now it becomes 10. 10 minus 1 is 1. 10 minus 1 is 1. Here is 0. And again here also I cannot borrow from here 0 also. So I am borrowing from here. Here, while after cancelling this 10, it becomes 1. Because when we cancel 1, the previous number is 0. Here, when we cancel 10, the previous number is 1. So like that, you have to be careful while borrowing. So 10 minus 1 is 1 and here the remaining one is 0. So totally, we have 7 digits. By adding 1 0, this is the answer. The next example is given the decimal number, we have to convert to the binary and then we have to subtract. So here we have given minus 21. So whenever we see the negative number, we have to find 1's complement and 2's complement. Then only we have to manipulate. So first, the 1's complement procedure is finding the binary equivalent. The binary equivalent for 21 is for 16 plus 4 20, 20 plus 1 21. So I have put 1 on top of those numbers and remaining 0. 8-bit form you have to write, making the values to 8 digits. Now 1's complement, that is inverting all the 0 as 1, 1 as 0. Now adding 1 to the least significant bit. Zero plus 1, it is 1, again 1, remaining all same. So this is the value for minus 21. Then we have to find the value of 5, binary equivalent. For 5, we need just 4 and 1, so 101. One plus 1 is 10. Again this we carry 1 plus 1 10. Again 1 plus 1 10. Here it stops. 1 plus 0 is 1. Remaining 3. This is the value of minus 16. This is the value for minus 16. We told that this first number, it is the most significant bit. It identifies it is a negative number. We can just cross check whether it is correct or not. We have got minus 16. So first we have to find the binary value for 16, that is 10000, 8-bit form, adding 3 zeros, 1's complement, inverting all the 0 as 1 and 1 as 0, adding 1 to the least significant bit. 1 plus 1 10, again 1 plus 1 10, the remaining odd same. So this is the value for minus 16. So the answer which you found is correct. So this is how you have to find the binary addition and subtraction. So another example is that in case if you got number like this, you have to normally you have to find the binary equivalent for 24 and do 1 complement and 2's complement for this minus 6. After getting the 2's complement, you have to subtract from this 24. Here we have got plus symbol. You should not just manipulate minus into minus plus like that. You should not do. You just do 1's complement and 2's complement for this minus 6. After that, you have to subtract the 2's complement result with the 24. So this is all about the binary addition and subtraction. The last topic which we are going to discuss here is representing characters in memory. There are various coding schemes available to represent the characters. So the what are all the characters which you are giving, which is represented based on those coding schemes. Representing characters in memory. So what are all the characters, what are all the input which we give to the computer can able to understand in a number format. So for identifying those numbers, various coding schemes has been developed. So even though what are all the 26 upper characters, 26 lower characters and 0 to 9 digits, all the special characters, all these will have a unique number. So those are called as a character set. So each value, each character will have a unique number. So that number will be can only be updated or understandable by the computer. So those characters are developed, the numbers are developed based on the coding schemes. So first, the binary coded decimal BCD. So it is not currently inactive. So it can able to encode totally 2 power 6 characters, that is 64 characters at a time. So currently it is not in use. Later, ASCII, that is American Standard Code for Information Interchange, mainly recognized by the United States. It can able to encode 2 power 7, that is 128 characters, and in the newer version, the latest version, it can able to encode 2 power 8, that is 256 characters at a time, that is unique characters. It can able to encode 256 unique characters which comprises from these. So each will have a unique number. So next we will see what are all the coding schemes available. And the next coding scheme is EBCDIC, that is Extended Binary Coded Decimal Interchange Code, which is formatted by the IBM, and it is similar to ASCII, which can able to encode 2 power 8 256 characters, and the ASCII code can be converted to this EBCDIC, and vice versa, it can also be converted from EBCDIC to ASCII. Next, you will see about the Indian Standard Code interchange format, and the last one as the Unicode. Next one is the Indian Standard Code for Information Interchange. So the US based companies developed the ASCII, the American Standard Code. By similarly, they have developed the Indian Standard Code for Indian local languages, which can able to encode 2 power 8, that is 256 characters, and it is developed by the Bureau of Indian Standard System, that is BIS. The last one is the Unicode, that is Universal Code. So after the ASCII, the most popular encoding system is the Unicode, that is Universal Code. Whereas ASCII can able to encode only the English and all the European languages, whereas Unicode can able to encode all languages, all type of languages. It can able to encode, that is 2 power 16, that is 65,536 characters at a time. That is the main advantage of the Unicode. So we have seen about the data representation, what is the data, how the data is represented, what are all the various terms used for representing the data, starting from kilobyte to megabyte, gigabyte, and till the yottabyte, and the various number systems, what are all the number systems available, binary, decimal, octal, and hexadecimal, and number system conversions. And we have seen about the ones complement, twos complement, that is the signed magnitude representation, and binary addition and subtraction. And last we have seen about the various characters, how the various coding schemes available to represent the characters in computer memory. Next we will see about the part 2, the Boolean algebra concept of the chapter 2. So in this part, we'll be discussing the introduction part of Boolean algebra and the basic operators which are going to be used in the Boolean algebra, and the logic gates. Logic gate is nothing but circuits. What are all the circuits? How it works? All these things we will be seeing in this part. So first, let us start with the introduction. Mainly, the Boolean algebra is used for designing digital circuit in the digital computers. So most of the digital computers have many digital circuits, and most of the circuit will result the answer in a binary form, that is either right or wrong, that is true or false. So in that circuit, these Boolean algebra concept is mainly used. So the statements which results in a binary form, that is true or false, those statements are called as logical statements. And those resultant value, that binary value, are called as truth values. That is 0 for false and 1 for true. This you have to keep in mind. This is very, very important. 0 for false and 1 for true. And mainly the Boolean algebra relates the given input and process based on the possible inputs and results with the binary value, that is the output. So these two the values will be stored in a variable, in a place. So those variables are called as a logical variable, that is binary valued variable. It means it will contain only two values, either 0 or 1. That is the meaning for binary valued variable, or it can be called as a Boolean variable. And the next one we are going to discuss in the introduction part is the logical operation. Mainly the Boolean algebra uses the variables and operation, that is functions, to perform a logical decision. So that we call it as a logical operations. So these are the three basic logical operations which we are going to do in the Boolean algebra. These are the three basic. Based on that we can extract new logical operation and operation. That is, we symbolically we represent and is a multiply symbol, that is dot. These are the variables a and b. It will have either 0 or 1 values. So we just multiply. And next one is the OR operator. That is, we use plus symbol, a plus b. And not. Not is a inverter operator, opposite of the given input. If you give 0 as a value for a means the result will be 1. That is, if you give true means the answer will be false. Like that, inverter operator. So we use a over bar to the variable or and single apostrophe. So these three we call it as a logical operator, the basic logical operator. And the next one we are going to discuss is truth table. So we need to tabulate the results. We need to process and we need to tabulate the results based on the all possible inputs along with the possible outputs. So what all the possible inputs will be tabulated, and corresponding possible outputs also will be tabulated. That we call it as a truth table. So this is all about the introduction of Boolean algebra. Next we will see what are all the operators available in Boolean algebra. Already in the introduction part we have told that the three basic logical operators are available, and or not. In addition to that, there are some operators used in the Boolean algebra. So first, let us start with the basic operators, basic logical operators. So first one is the AND operator. So it is symbolically represented with a dot. That is multiply symbol. In maths, we use dot for multiply symbol. And the output is true if all the inputs are true. The output will be true if all the inputs are true. Here is a truth table for better understanding. Here we told that 0 as a false, 1 as a true. These are the two variables which we have used. So two inputs we have given, both are false, so the result is false. And we told that all the inputs must be true for the output is true. Here we see one input is false, other input is true. The answer is false. One input is true, other input is false, and obviously the output is false. And here both the inputs are true, the result is true. So these are the possible inputs which we can able to give, and these are the possible outputs based on the inputs. So next one is the OR operator. It's a plus symbol which we represent. Here output is true if at least one input is true. Whereas in AND operator, all the inputs must be true. Whereas here, at least one input is true means the output will be true. So you see the truth table, both the inputs are false, the output is false. Here we have the first input as false and second input as true. So at least we have one input as a true. So the result is true. Here also at least one. Minimum one input, if it is true means the output will be true. So here we have one input as a true. So the result is true. Here we have both the input as a true. So the result is true. So this is all about the OR operator. And the next one is the NOT. We use overbar or the single apostrophe. We know that it is an inverter operator, that is opposite of the input. If the output needs to be true means obviously the input must be false. Here you see the truth table. Here you can able to give only one variable. Only for NOT operator we will be able to give only one variable. Whereas in the other operators we can give more than two variables, two or more variables. Only for NOT operator we can give only one variable as an input. If you give false, the result is true. If you give true, the result is false. That is opposite. So these are the three basic logic operators. By combining these operators, we can derive some new operators. Let us see what are the new operators. Next is NAND operator. So NAND is a combination of NOT and AND. That is NOT plus AND. So these two are the basic logic operators. By combining these two, we derive a new operator. So it is inverse of AND operator. If we can say it as inverse of, this is the inverse symbol, inverse of AND operator. In representation, we can say that A dot B, that is inverse of A dot B. So here is a truth table. Here we have found the AND operator. This is for AND operator. And this part is for NAND operator. That is inverse, which we have seen in the AND operator. Both the output are false, so obviously the result is false. Even we need both the input must be true, then only the output will be true. So here only one input is only true, so the output is false. Here also only one input is true, so the output is false. Here both the input are true, so the result is true. We have to invert this, opposite of this. So opposite of false is true, again true, true, and opposite of true is false. We can say that A NAND B, or we can say it as NOT of, that is A and B, that is inverse of A and B. So next is NOR operator. that is not plus or. We can say inverse of or, that is a plus b, inverse of a plus b. Similarly, we have found the truth table for a plus b, the or operator. Here at least one input must be true for the result to be true. So here both the input are false, so 0 false. Here we have only one input is true, so result is true. Here also only one input is true, so the result is true. Here we have both the input are true, so the result is true. This is for OR operator. Now for NOR operator means you have to inverse of that. For false we have mentioned as true, and for these three true we have mentioned as false. We can say it as A NOR B or not of A or B. Like this we can say. So these are the operators, various operators we have used in Boolean algebra. Next we will see about logic gates. What are the logic gates, logic circuits available by using the concept of these operators. These operators, the function of these operators are the basic for the logic gates. Once you are very clear about these operators means, function of the operators means, you'll be easily learning the functions of the logic gates available. Logic gates. Mainly these logic gates gets two or more input signals from the user, binary input signals, and process it based on the possibilities of the input signal. It produces the possible outputs. What are all the basic logic gates which we have seen is AND or NOT. The same here, those three are the basic logic gates that they call it as a universal gates. That is AND gate, OR gate, and NOT gate. First let us see about the AND gate. So in the operators we have seen the symbolic representation and the function and the truth table. Here we will be giving the functions, that is same what we have seen in the operator. Output is true if all the inputs are true. And in addition to that, logical symbol is more important. This is the logical symbol of the AND gate. This is the logical symbol of AND gate. So no need to mention the gate within the diagram. For symbol you need just draw the symbol. That is two inputs we are giving. This symbol is most important and we will be getting one output. Here it is not mandatory to use y. We can use any variable other than the input variable. We can use any variable whatever we need. So y is equal to a dot b, that is output. This can be written as y is equal to a and b, y is equal to a dot b, or y is equal to ab, whatever may be. We have to read as y is equal to a and b. That is the exact meaning. Here next is the truth table. Here we have drawn the truth table. Two inputs are there. Y is equal to a dot b. We know that output will be true if all the inputs are true. So here all the inputs are true means these two are the true inputs. So in this scenario only the output will be true. That is both the inputs are true. So other than the inputs, the output will be false. So this is about the AND gate. Next one is the OR gate. We know that output is true if at least one input is true. Logical symbol is this is the logical symbol. For AND, a curve will be there, that is D symbol, whereas for OR, like this, a line will be, parallel line will be there, after that the curve will be there. So this is the difference for AND and OR. And here plus, we can represent as A or B, A plus B, and here the truth table is if at least one input is true means here we have one true and here also we have one true. So this is the truth table for OR gate. And the next one is the NOT gate. We know that is inverse. Output is true means if input must be false. That is opposite. The logical symbol is, we have already told that in the logical operator you will be having only one input for the NOT operator. Similarly, here also for NOT gate you will be having only A, and you will be having a bubble, and this is Y is equal to A bar. You can write as NOT A, you can write as A bar, you can write as A single apostrophe. The truth table is, you will be having only one input, 0 1 1 0. If it is false, it is true. If it is true, it is false. So this is about the basic logic gates. Similarly, here also, by combining these gates, a new gates can be extracted, can be derived. So let us see what are all the additional gates, logic gates available. The next gates which we are going to see are the NOR gate and the NAND gate. So we have already seen the operator, NOR operator. It is a combination of similar, the same here applied. It is NOT plus OR. It is the inverse of OR. We can tell as inverse of A plus B. Here, after manipulating or computing this OR, then only we have to inverse. That is the main thing you have to keep in mind. So here you see the logical symbol. This is the logical circuit, not the logical symbol. This is the logical circuit. This is the logical symbol. Logical symbol is the final, that is just a symbolic representation. Okay. Here you see an OR operator is used. That is, two inputs are given, y is equal to A plus B. Then that output is given as an input to the NOT operator. You should not first inverse and then you should not add. You have to first add, do the OR operation, and then you have to inverse. So that is, I have used a new variable. Since I have used y as a already variable, I have used a new variable. So it is the inverse. In writing the logical symbol, I am just using the bubble of the NOT operator after the OR operator. The same truth table which we have seen in the NOR operator is, if at least OR operation is at least one input must be true. So based on that we have derived this OR operation table, and inverse of that is false is true and remaining for true we have mentioned false. And next one is a NAND operator. It's a combination of NOT plus AND. Here similarly inverse of AND. After multiplying, after doing the AND operation only we have to do the NOT operation. So similarly we just use this bubble after the AND operator. This is the logical symbol. Till the first three basic gates you won't having the logical circuit, whereas in the upcoming gates you will be having logical circuit as well as logical symbol. So here the truth table, which is similar to the NAND operator, all the input must be true, then only the output will be true for AND. So based on that we have given only in this scenario the result will be true because of these two are true. So inverse of these, it is the NAND result. Okay, this is all about the NOR and NAND. In addition to that, there are some other gates. Let us see what are the other gates available. The next two gates are bubbled AND gate and bubbled OR gate. So first, the bubbled AND gate. So let us see the difference between the bubbled AND gate and the NAND gate. So in NAND gate, first you will multiply, then you will find the inverse. This is for NAND. Whereas here You will first inverse the input, all the inputs, and then you will multiply. So that is the main difference between the NAND and the bubbled AND gate. So this is the logical circuit. Here you see, whereas in NAND gate, the NOT operator will be common after the AND gate. Whereas here, before the AND gate itself, for each input we have used the NOT gate. So first the input will be get inversed, and after that the result will be added. So this is the logical circuit for bubbled AND gate, and this is the symbol. Whereas in the NAND gate, the bubble will be after the AND gate. Whereas here, since we are using for each and every input, we have to put the bubble. It means that it is an inverse. Then the result will be multiplied. So here you see, the inputs are given A and B. First, we have taken the inverse of the inputs A and B, and later we have multiplied. Here the same rule applies. Wherever we multiply, only if both the inputs are true, the result will be true. Here also, in this scenario only, the result will be true because both are true. Whereas here, either only one is true. So obviously the results are false. Next is bubble OR gate. So hope you got some clear idea what will be the bubble OR gate. So similar to the bubble AND gate, the bubble OR gate will be when compared to NOR gate. So whereas in NOR gate, you will be first adding and after doing the inverse. Whereas here, after finding the inverse, you will be adding the result. So this is the logical circuit you will be using in NOT gate before proceeding for addition, and after that you will be adding. This is the logical symbol. You will be using bubble before the OR gate, and the result will be added. So this is the truth table. The same we have found. We have written the possible input values and found the inverse for each and every input. And here also the same rule applies. At least one input is true means the result will be true. So here you see these are the three scenarios where the output will be true. Whereas in the last both are false, so the result is false. Next we are going to see the remaining, the last two gates. Let us see what are the two gates, the last two gates available. Next gate is XOR gate. So listen carefully for these last two gates because it will be some quite complication, but when you understand it will be very easy. So the gate works as a either or. It will work only in either or situation. It means either one input is true means the result will be true. In other remaining cases, the result will be false. That is, both are false means the result is false. Even the both are true means, both the inputs are true means the result will be false. It will only work in either or situation. So this is the logic circuit. This is the logic circuit. Here you see two AND gates are used and the result OR gate because XOR gate we are using. Before that, you see the first AND gate. What are all the inputs? Here are the two inputs we are going to give. So the first input is A, which is inversed. And the second input here, you see, before the NOT operation, the input is given to this first AND gate. Similarly, the first input for the second AND gate, it is given before the NOT operation, that is inverse operation. Before the inverse operation, it is given the first input, and the second input is inversed and it is given to the second AND gate. So the result of this first will be A inverse and B because it is directly given. And the second gate is the A is given directly, so A will be there. For AND, dot is given, and the second input is inverse B inverse. So these two will be added. So this is the XOR gate, and this is the logical symbol for the XOR gate. The OR gate will be there. This is the OR gate, and a curve will be there. Similarly, the curve for OR gate. This is the logical symbol. Now let us derive the truth table. So the possible inputs are, these are the four possible inputs. Let us find the inverse for both. Now inverse of A, this part, into B. This is this for, I have it as first. This is second. This is first. And this is second. So first we have to multiply A inverse and B. So multiply means, and operator means both the input must be true. Then only the output will be true. Here you see we have one false. So obviously the result is false. Here you see both are true. So the result is true. Both are false. Here one false is there. So result is false. Now the second one. A into B inverse. The same. 0 into 1. Here we have one false. So the result is false. Here both are false. Here both are true. So true. Here one is false. So false. Now we have to add these two. Add means OR operator. If any one input is true means we can give the output as true. So here both are false. So false. Here one is true. So we gave true. Here one is true. And both are false. So this is false. So that's why we told that the output will be true if either one input is true means the output will be true. In the remaining cases, whatever the cases, both the inputs are true. This is the input. Both the inputs are true or both the output are false means the result will be false. Only in if either one input is true means the result will be true. So this is all about the XOR gate. And the last gate which you are going to see is XNOR gate. That is combination of XOR plus NOT. That is inversion. So that is inversion of XOR gate. So in your book they have given the, based on the logical symbol of XOR, they have given the logical circuit for the XNOR. You have to, whenever you draw the logical circuit diagram, you have to draw elaborately. So you just copy down this diagram, and for logical symbol you can follow the book. You cannot follow the logical circuit of the XNOR which is given in the book because they have given the simplified form. This is the exact logical circuit of the XNOR gate. So you see the same, all are same of the XOR gate. This part till this part. And the last you are just using a NOT gate. So this is the logical circuit of the XNOR gate. In the logical symbol you will be using a bubble after the XOR gate, because we are just inverting. After doing the XOR operation we are just inverting the result, not inverting the inputs and doing the inverse operation or XOR operation. First we have to do all the XOR operation and then finally we have to do the inversion operation using the NOT gate. That's why we have mentioned the bubble after the XOR gate. So now let us do the truth table, derive the truth table. So inverse of A into B, that is if both the inputs are true means the result will be true. So here 0, here true, here false, and here also false. Combining these two. And now combining these two means here also false, false, here is true, So true, here is false. For XOR, you no need to just write the equation fully. In the simplified form, you can use a plus symbol and round it. You can use a rounded plus symbol for XOR gate. So that is this one, this plus this. So plus means OR gate. If any one input is true means the result is true. So here false, true, true, here is false. Inverse of this. So we can say that in XNOR gate, whatever may be the input, in case if it is either one input is true means the result is false. Even though the input is false, both the inputs are false, that is 0, 0, the output will be true. And both the inputs are true means the result will be true. In case if any one input is true means the result will be false. Like this also we can say about the XNOR gate. Next, in your book they have given some theorems of Boolean algebra. Let us equate the theorems of Boolean algebra. The first theorem is identity theorem. That is a plus 0 is a or a into 1 is a. This is the theorem which they have given. So with the help of the truth table we can equate both LHS and RHS. So here you see only one input is there. So 0 or 1. These are the possibilities. So if you add 0, the result is also same as the input. So this is A. So this is true. Both LHS and RHS are same. Next one, A into, this is A plus 0. Okay, this first one. Next is A into 1. So if you into means that is AND. Both the inputs are true means the result is true. That is here one is false, so the result is false. Both are true, the result is true. Which is A. So this is also proved. LHS is equal to RHS. So like this, you have to draw the truth table for each and every theorem. And you have to just know whether it is proved or not. This is theorems are just for understanding. Okay, you have to know these theorems can be also used. So and you have to prove both LHS and RHS, that is left hand side and right hand side. So the theorems may also be asked in the exam. So we have to learn each and every theorem by proving using the truth table. The next theorem is the complement theorem. So here you see the truth table is 0, 1 and the inverse is that is 1, 0. If you add both these means, that is OR operator means if any one input is true means the result is true. So for both it is true. So the first one is true. Next is AND operator. If only both the inputs are true means the result will be true. Here in both the cases we have one false. So obviously both the result are false. So this one is also true. So the next one is we have to draw two truth tables for proving. This is A and B. A plus B and B plus A. By combining the two truth tables we can act like this. So here we have two inputs, so the possibilities is 4. A plus B means A or B means if any one input is true means the result is true. Here both are false, so false. Obviously the opposite vice versa also it applies the same. So these two are equal. So this one is proved. Next one is A into B, that is A and B. B and A. If both the inputs are true only means the result will be true. So here in these cases the result will be false, and only in this case the result will be true. Same in vice versa. So it is true. Similarly, you have to prove the remaining theorems. So with this, the chapter 2, the part 2 gets completed. So in the next video, we will start with the next chapter, computer organization. Thank you, students.